Hey guys, in this video we'll do something quite easy but very useful, and that is the Tooltip widget. So when we hover over the items in the inventory, it will show all of its information. First we need to do one small fix from the previous video, and that is, I don't know if you remember, but in equipment slot preview, when I said if you move this character preview image in front of the slots it doesn't really matter. Well, I was wrong, because now I can't click on these equipment slots behind it. So to fix that is just select the image and do Z order -1, which will move it behind it, so it's all good. Compile and save. Now we can do our Tooltip widget, so open your third person, blueprints and widgets, and right click here. We'll create new user interface and widget blueprint. Click on a user widget, and this will be our Tooltip_W for widget. Open it up. Here we need to add canvas panel first. Then we will add vertical box, which will help us stack the widget on top of each other. And in here we can create border, which will be the top part of the tooltip. Change the padding to 0. And select this vertical box one more time and check the size to content, which will automatically resize it with the content. Now, since the border can only hold one child, we need to add canvas panel to it. Add canvas panel to border, and now we can start adding things. So first thing we'll do is image. This one will be size maybe 120. Our inventory icon is like 100 or 90, so we need to make it a little bit bigger. Then we can add text. Add it to the canvas panel as well. Now for this border, let's change the tint to something nicer. I like this bluish darker color. And now if you move this text block, it will automatically start resizing the border under. So we can make this text block bigger, so do size maybe 240, a bit longer, 260. Size Y can be 30. And now this will basically be our item name, which will look something like iron sword, like this. And we can add another text. So add one more text to the canvas panel, drag it just right under with a small offset. This will be the item type, so something like chest, iron sword, so main hand. Let's make this smaller, so size will be like 16. And here you got the font family, so I'll do this Roboto Tiny. There's not many options, but this one looks quite nice. And maybe move it a bit down. So that's looking quite alright. Now we can add the second part to this, which is we will add another border. Again, we'll add it to vertical box. This one, change the padding to 0 as well. This one will have darker tint, so change it to something like almost black. And this is obviously just an example, but we'll be styling it a little bit more later. Now, you can't see it because there is no content in it, so just to show something, we can add image. We'll add it to the border. Well, one more thing, add canvas panel first, because then we can't add anything else. And now add image to it. We can change the image size to maybe 100. There we go, and now change its appearance, brush and tint, and turn off alpha channel because it's just for show. So this part, so the second part, will eventually hold stats and everything else. So we can already add grid panel. Grid panel we're using for inventory as well, but this one will be generating stats, so we'll be adding stats to it. Add it to the canvas panel as well, and later we can use it, and you know, we'll just have stats under each other. If you want to see what it will kind of look like, is you can add another text to the canvas panel. This one will be, where is the content? Got text block selected. Content will be damage 10. You can move it down, you can make it smaller. Doesn't need to be bold, it can be light. And then we duplicate it. And this one will be health. And now you get the idea, this is where our stats will be, but since we have it as a vertical box and it's sizing to content, every time we add a new stat, it will be just increasing the size of this, which is perfect. For now we can leave this here. And we need to create the bottom part of it, so we'll add another border. No, not here. So add the border to vertical box again. Turn off the padding. Color of this, we can make, I don't know, something darker again, even darker, or maybe like a bit bluish. And then here we can, so first again canvas panel into border, and now text into canvas panel. This one you can make slightly larger size Y, so it will resize it, maybe 60 or 50. Can move it down so it's in the middle. This can be maybe later something like price. Change its font. So appearance font to 20, maybe 18. This won't be bold. This can be italic. Move it here. We can duplicate this. Move it to the other side. And this will hold weight of the item later. So like that. And this is what the widget will kind of look like. This is just a base, and as we filling up the item info, then we can be adding stuff to this, like rarity of this item, you know, and all the other stats that it needs. For now, all we need to do is go to graph. We will add new variable. We'll do item info as everywhere else. It will be type item info s. This time we will do instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile and save. And now you can just dock this tooltip here. Now open up your inventory icon widget. Click on the button and here search tooltip. So not tooltip text, but tooltip widget. And here we'll bind it and create binding. And in this one, what we need to do is drag this item info that is inside this inventory icon, and we need to check if it's not empty, otherwise we'll be creating empty widgets and we don't want that. So break it open, check if the item class is valid class, and if it is, that means it's got item in it. So branch, plug it in the condition. Now if true, we will create widget. The widget we'll be creating is our tooltip. Now since we expose on spawn the item info, we can just add it here. So we'll pass this item info from the inventory icon into widget, and we connect this both to return node. Now if it's not valid, just copy the return node and put it into false, and we leave it empty. Compile and save. And now if you were to go to inventory, it would just, you hover over the item and it shows you the tooltip that we created, but it doesn't have any data. So go back to tooltip, designer, and now let's fix the data. So this iron sword is an item name. Here on the text we create binding. Here we will drag item info, get item info. We break this open. Now we do not need to check if it's valid class because we wouldn't be creating this widget if it wasn't. So we can just connect the name to return node. Now go back to designer. Select this main hand. Bind the text, create binding, and do the same thing. So item info, break it open, and now connect item type, but don't directly. First we need to do enum to string, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. And now connect it here. Compile and save. Now we need to do icon, so select the icon, image, and here on brush you can do create binding. Here we drag from this return value, we make slate brush, and here you can already see the image that we're going to plug in there. So get item info, break it open, and connect the icon into image. Compile and save. Now we do not have weight or price or anything like that yet, or any of the stats. So if you open it, now you got a steel helmet. It will show you the head, chest, offhand, main hand, and it shows you nice details as well. I think it's missing a bit of edge to it because it's overlapping in the inventory and it's not really visible. So what we can do is go to designer again, and this time each of these border we can wrap with another border. So right click, we do wrap with border, which will create the outside border. It has so select it, it has padding, make the padding 2, so it's even on each side. And now let's see, maybe we can actually leave it white. And now we can select this one, the last one, do the same thing. So right click, wrap with border, padding will be 2, leave it at white. And then this middle part, just right click, wrap with border, select border padding 2, and actually this one we do not need top and we do not need bottom padding, so put top and bottom to 0. It only needs sides. And now if you play the game, we have decent looking widget that we can add more information to later. And you can also add it to the equipment slots. So what we need to do is just go to equipment slot widget, Now click on the button. Here we will do search for tooltip, and tooltip widget we will bind, create binding, and we can copy it from the inventory icon. You can actually get the whole tooltip widget function, and now delete this one and copy it here, paste it here. And now in designer, on button, search for tooltip again, and add this tooltip function. Now you should have both of them working, and that's how we create tooltip widget. Cool. I'll see you in the next video.